It's a lot of people that came before me, carried the torch as the king and, you know, a lot of different things, but there hasn't necessarily been a prince of Miami. We got a lot of mayors. Trick is the original mayor, so I can never, you know, stand close to that. But, you know, I've been, you know, given the name the Prince of Miami. Three-time champion, born and raised here.
Godfather of beat culture. Yeah, he gets the recognition from the home fans. I think it's safe to say that Udonis is the most respected athlete in South
Florida. Growing up in Liberty City, we were on the other side of the bridge, which, you know, you're in, you know, Liberty City, you got Overtown, you got Opelika, you got Little Havana, you got Little Haiti, you got Hialeah. Those are the neighborhoods in the areas that I hung out with. I never got across the bridge to even experience what was over there until I got in the NBA. Athletics was in our family. That's just what we did. My father was the Dade County Player of the Year from Miami Northwestern, 1965, if I'm not mistaken. My mother went to Miami Central, 2 Liberty City schools, 2 rival schools, and just athletics was the way we kind of bonded and the way we spoke our language, and it just helped our relationship grow. If I would have to say, you know, one person that really instilled in me to go out and play every day would be my older brother, Sam. He passed away from cancer when I was 17 years old. He passed away from cancer my freshman year in college. He was the guy that took me to the court every day, played with me, you know, made me play with older guys. I hated playing with older guys. I used to like to play with guys my age because I could just dominate them. And then my brother would take me to play with older guys, and then it's like I couldn't dominate the older guys. They were, you know, I was kind of the weak link sometimes, and it was just frustrating trying to play with older guys. But I understood the process. You know, I understood why he was doing it. But my brother Sam would be somebody who I would definitely credit towards me. You know, just playing as much basketball as possible at a young age. I had great coaching. You know, that's something I've been fortunate enough to have throughout my career is great coaching. But if I was to pick one coach that, you know, had the ultimate impact on my career, I would pick Frank Martin. Frank Martin was my high school coach at Miami Senior High School. He is now the head coach at South Carolina Gamecocks. Until I got to Miami High and had the opportunity to play for Frank, and then I was really challenged. And that's when I came at a crossroads in my career. It's like, is this really what I want to do? You know, because at a young age, like I said, I felt like I should be having fun, and immediately Frank took the fun out of it, but it was for a good reason. You know, standards, Miami High are championship standards. You know, if you look at the banners, you know, if you have an opportunity to go in the gym and you think about the guys that played before you, Steve Edwards, Allen Edwards, Doug Edwards, you know, Devin Davis, you know, all these guys that played before me and the guys that, you know, people might not know on a national scale, but in Miami, they was like hoop legends. And these guys all went to Miami High, you know, so it was kind of like set in stone. Like if you wanted to be the best basketball player you can be and see how good you are, you know, you test yourself against the best and you go to Miami High. And if you can't cut it at Miami High, then, you know, you might probably want to pick another profession because that was the best. My recruiting. My dad, my pops, man, he's probably still pissed off at me right now because I didn't take any visits. You know, in my mind and in my heart, I knew I wanted to attend the University of Florida. My best friend at that time went to Miami High with me, Sylvan Robinson. He had signed to go to University of Florida. You know, unfortunately, academically, things didn't work out for him. Another best friend of mine who went to Miami High with me went to Florida the year before, Brentley Wright. So we had like 3 or 4 guys from my high school, you know, that had planned to go to the University of Florida. Not to mention the assistant coach at University of Florida at that time, Anthony Grant, was from Miami. He went to Miami High as well, and he's from Overtown. So we're talking about like, it's a real strong connection between the University of Florida and Miami kids at that time. And if you're sending your kid somewhere and you're trusting your kid with somebody, you're trusting your kid with somebody who's from where you're from, who knows what you've been through and can relate to your kid. Because a lot of times when you send your kids away from home, they feel so out of place that they end up back home after a year or two. So I was in a situation where I was surrounded by people that I was very comfortable with. It was a great feeling until I walked in the gym and there was like 50 guys with the same opportunity as me. And I'm like, damn, I thought it was like maybe 4 or 5 guys they trying to keep. It was like 50 people in the gym. It was like, how do you separate yourself from these guys? And if you know this business and you know sports, maybe not everybody has an opportunity or a real legit chance of making a team when they come into training camp. So you're stepping in a situation where you don't know if you're one of those guys that they're taking seriously or you're one of those guys just to be providing extra body. Whatever you can do to separate yourself from the other guys that are in that situation, you have to take advantage of it. For me, it was the simplest play that really defined my career early and defined who I was and what type of person I was. Practicing one day, we going 5-on-5, we going live, a shot goes up, ball bounces off, it rolls towards half court. Everybody stops, I just chase it, I grab it, I chase it and I grab it. Coach Riley blows the whistle, he looks at me and he's like, why didn't you stop? So at this point I thought I did something wrong. And I was like, man, nobody blew the whistle, the play's still going. And literally something as small as that was huge and catapulted my career. Later on that day, Coach Riley called me in his office and pretty much told me I made the team. And it was just something as small as me just not giving up on a play that was still going on, that kind of deciding factor that separated me from like 20, 30 other guys that were in the gym at that time. Coming back to Miami, my own city, where I was born and raised, people would think that I would beat my chest and be happy, but I still had a chip on my shoulder. I still had something to prove. I still felt like a lot of people overlooked me for a lot of different reasons. So when we won that championship, it was my first time to kind of take the load off and just have some kind of satisfaction for what I've accomplished and how far I've come. Because I didn't give myself that, because I felt like so many people just didn't believe, and my motivation every day was all the people that didn't believe, all the people that didn't draft me, and all the people that thought otherwise. I could show you better than I could tell you. Up until that point, basketball had been my life. And you change your perspective on the way you look at things when you lose a parent. And that year, we won it. It was amazing. You love having that ring. You love being the best in the world at anything you do. If you could say that, then you should be proud of that. So to have the opportunity to say that we were the best in the world, something I was very proud of. But also, like I said, I had taken a step that summer after losing my mom, after having the surgery. I had taken a step, and for the first time in my life, basketball was just a game. It wasn't my life. Up until that point, it had been my life. To go to the finals 4 straight years, to be that team every year, to play the most basketball out of anybody in the NBA every year, to have shorter breaks every summer out of everybody. Now you're talking, it's becoming mentally and physically stressful and draining. And as a group, we may have took it for granted a little bit. You don't know it until you're in that situation, and you're winning every year. And then when you don't have that luxury, and then you start to realize how fortunate we were to have that group of guys together. My main focus right now, man, is my kids and their futures. And even though I've been able to provide, amazing lifestyle and put my kids in position to, see so many things and do so many things, so much of this journey has been about me and what I've needed to do on a personal level. So now I'm at the point in my life and my career where, their futures, are, my focus. My businesses. And, myself last.